this part is not street legal.
Hello and welcome back to my small Husqvarna 701 channel. Today I'm on the German highway, as you see. I got my trailer in the back and I'm ready to pick up my bike. It's been at some friend's workshop and it's been there for 1 week. I brought it there last week on Sunday. Today is also Sunday, and today's topic is the street legality of the Rade F5 Fairing. So it's also for the F3, F4 and F5 fairing because it's the same. Out of the box the fairing comes not street legal. So if you put it on your bike, you won't have a street legal bike. Your insurance won't pay in case of any emergency, any accident, and you will get into some troubles. The main reason is the windscreen, that it doesn't have an e-marking, and this video is for all the people who are considering to buy some Rade Garage F5 4 or 3 fairing, or have already bought one and want to know how to get it street legal. So just as a disclaimer, if you want to have some action footage in this video, so this video won't be for you, so you can just turn off right now, because this video will only be some information video about the fairing, about the TÜV approval, my struggle with the TÜV, and my experience, and the kind of documents that I used, and how I got it in the end street legal. So I'm very happy about it. So stay tuned. I will let you know later from my winter garden about the detailed information, and right now I only have 25 more kilometers to go out of 200, and so see you later in the winter garden.
So here we are back again from the winter garden. The bike is already jacked up. I found my way back home from the German highway, so yeah, it's nice to be back. And today's topic is, as you know, the Rally Tower or Rade Garage TÜV approval. And as you already know, I got it finally. So today's topic is, I would like to divide it in four different parts within this video. So first, I would like to talk about the problem that I have. Second, I would talk about the idea that I had how to get the TÜV approval. And then I would like to talk about the experience that I made with the different kind of TÜV test centers. And then I will tell you about my final solution and how I got it. So yeah, let's start. So as you know already, when you buy the Rade Garage F5 fairing or F4 fairing, so I made a mistake before. The F3 fairing is already coming with some e-mark. So I will talk about the F4 of F5 fairing. So if you ever consider to buy one of these beautiful and nice looking fairings, and with some great usability and wind protection and weather protection, and some space to add on stuff here, which I will cover in the next video of my roadbook adventure. And yeah, I still have to do the wiring and to connect some buttons and stuff like that, but I will talk about this later. Today it's about the fairing and the tower itself. So yeah, as you know, if you consider to buy it, or if you already have bought it, you will get into problems when you are at least in Germany. I guess it's in different countries it's exactly the same, but here in Germany it's like very strict, and we get a lot in some police checks, and especially when the weather is nice and when you're heading over to some bike meeting points or anywhere else. So you might run into some control of the police. So if you are lucky, they will just check your papers, and that's all. But if you are unlucky, they are really have a close look to all of the parts that you have added to your bike. And for example, as you see here, if you just check the mirrors, if we go closer here, you can see, for example, there's an e-mark. So first of all, I would like to talk about the e-mark and the problem that this fairing has. So this fairing doesn't have some e-mark. That's the biggest problem. So e-mark or e-approval, I think the long term is ECE. It's for Economic Commission for Europe. So this one is doing all the approvals for stuff that you are going to add up onto your bike. So for example, if you want to add some mirrors or you want to add some exhaust pipe, of course you need to have the right model, and you need to have some ECE mark or ECE approval, so that you can use this one on your bike without any problem. This fairing doesn't have it, so there's no E-mark on it. So if you buy it so straight out from the box, it won't be street legal. And I also consider to buy some other parts. So there's, for example, Rebel X, there is Aurora, there is Omega, there is also Nomad and some other stuff. And as far as I know, all of these fairings come with a windscreen that is E-marked. So they use the factory windscreen of KTM, as far as I know. And so you won't have any issue to have an approval for this windscreen. Instead, Rade Garage does it by themselves, except the F3 fairing. So on the F3 fairing, they also bought it from MRR, I guess. And this is some German manufacturer, and yeah, it also had some E-mark, but this one, yeah, they inject by themselves and yeah, just sell it. And I guess it's much cheaper without E-mark, but I cannot understand why they don't consider to put an E-mark on it, because in my opinion it would extend the range of possible buyers and interested people, because I know a lot of people who don't buy this because this is not street legal. Yeah, so this is the main problem that this fairing has. It's not street legal. If you run into some control, maybe you are unlucky and you have to stop your bike, you have to leave your bike there. Maybe you're lucky and you can dismount this windscreen and just go on without the windscreen. But in a really worst case of a crash or of an accident, you will face a problem that your insurance maybe is not going to pay for your crash or for the damages that your that the other driver had. And yeah, so this will be some big issue. So for me it was very important to get the road legality in the end. In the end, I would have also have ridden without the street legal version, because I love it and I like the wind protection, and it gives me so much options to put stuff on. So I would have ridden without, but I tried very hard, and in the end I got it. So yeah, let's go on. I would like to share my idea that I had in the beginning, how to get the approval, and yeah, I will let you know right now. Yes, so what was my idea basically? So I know in advance, of course, that this fairing doesn't have some street legal option. So anyway, I bought it, and I asked Rade about the material, because I knew that only the windscreen is the biggest issue that I have, or that I'm facing. And yeah, Rade sent me over the material. So this one is the sheet of the material that was used, and the sheet about all the tests that yeah, this windscreen has gone through. So there's tensile strain at brake, tensile modulus, flexural modulus, and stuff like that. So there are a lot of tests that that were done on this material and on the windscreen, and it was all done according to the different ISO norms and standards, and yeah, and all the rules that you need to follow if you mold a windscreen by yourself. So these are 2 pages. Oh, excuse me, this is only 1 page. And this was the first document that I needed and that I showed to my TÜV certification test center, whatever it's called. The second document that I had was I found it on the internet on different threads. So there were already some guys who legalized this fairing for their bike. So I printed it out and I used it as a precedence. And as you can see here, it's according to paragraph 21. I don't like to explain right now what the paragraph 21 of the SDVZO is, because this is, I think, some German thing. In your country it may be different, and but this is some paragraphs that you can rely on to get this one legal. Later I will talk about also about paragraph 19, because I got it legalized by paragraph 19. So this one is 21 and the other one is 19. And here's okay, the result positively, so no issue at all. And he also showed his paper, what it looks like. I don't know if we can see it right now here. So there's written LED Doppelscheibenwerfer LSK and Rade Garage Fairing. So it's about the light and the fairing. So he got it. So I used this one as a precedence to say my nice and friendly TÜV guy. Here, have a look. So it works, no problem at all. Maybe you can do it the same, exactly according to paragraph 21, no issue. The third document that I used was confirmation and the e-approval of the light, of course. So you can see it's here written E8, and it's a homologation of the light according to the norms and standards of the EU. So you can run the light without any issue, and this is not the problem. So the problem is the windshield, and that's all. Yeah, so you see, these are my 3 documents that I used. You can also hit me up at Instagram and ask me for the documents. If you need them, I can send you over. I have stored it on my PC. Don't expect too much fancy pictures on Instagram, because I only use it to write with some guys on YouTube. But if you like to, just hit me up. So this was my idea how to go to the TÜV test center. Now let me explain you what my experience this has been. My experiences are quite sad in the end, because I thought I would have been well prepared with these documents, with the precedents, with a material sheet. I forgot it to tell you that I also have the confirmation from Rade Garage that this material sheet is according to this windshield. So the manufacturer itself wrote me and confirmed that this is really the tested windshield. And yeah, so I went to the first test center, and right away, yeah, he sent me back home. He said, okay, this screen doesn't have any ECE approval or EMARC. You can just, yeah, turn around, go back home, and try to find another one. Yeah, this was my first experience with the first guy. The second test center I visited, so he was, or it seemed like he was quite interested in the story. So he came also to the outside. He was checking around. He was looking on my bike. He was even taking some pictures, and I already thought that I made it and that he can approve it. And yeah, he said, okay, he will check it, and he sent me back home. And after 3 weeks, and yeah, every week I reminded him and asked him, what about the approval of this nice fairing? And he replied, yeah, I'm checking it. And yeah, in the end, nothing happened. He didn't check it. Yeah, this was my story with the second guy. So the third guy were quite the same. So I've been there. So he took a look around. He said, okay, we'll check it. I went back home, and yeah, 1 week later I tried to call him, he didn't answer. 2 weeks later I tried to call him, he didn't answer. 3 weeks later, same thing, he didn't answer. So all of these 3 visits that I had to the different TÜV and certification centers were quite bad, and I'm a little bit fed up at all with these guys, because I thought this would be their job to check really the material and to have a look at norms and ISO measuring methods and stuff like that. And Yeah, these are high-paid engineers in the end. You need to study to get this position, and in the end, they're not doing their job, in my opinion. So this is my feeling, and this is my experience that I had with them. I hope you had some different experiences, because this is quite annoying to go to 3 different test centers, and yeah, nobody can help you in the end, or would like to help you in the end. So I guess it's just, yeah, it's like with every aspect of your life, it's about the profit. So you can earn much more if you do some normal checks on some cars, if the braking system is working or stuff like that. And yeah, you only need 15 minutes, and you get paid the same as if you check this windscreen, and you need, I don't know, 3 hours, for example, to study all these norms. But this is my opinion. So yeah, I guess it's all about the profit. And this brings me also to my solution. So before I will tell you my final solution, just some hint that you can look up my first video to check out all of these parts and items that I use on my bike, and why I installed them, and what are the maybe advantages or disadvantages. So have a look, and yeah. So as you already know, my final solution was to finding a guy who's really interested in motorcycles. And yeah, I only made it through some threads in the internet. I read them. I got to know some other motorcycle guys riding the same bike. They give me some tips and hints where to go, and who's really interested in getting this one street legal. Because I really try to get it street legal. I don't like to ride illegal on the road. And yeah, so they just get me into contact to some guy who is 200 kilometers away from my home. In the end, unfortunately, of course, I won't tell you where I did it and who did it, because I don't want to get anybody into some problems or into some trouble. So, but finally, if you are reading the right right threads on the internet, then you will find out where you can find some guys who are willing to legalize it, or who are able to legalize it. So I'm very happy in the end to find it. So good news is that you can get it legalized. Bad news is that it takes some effort to find some guy to do it. Yes, in the end I forgot some quite important information. So this one here, this piece. So at the guy who's checking my bike, or who was checking my bike, and who gave me the TÜV approval in the end. So this part is not a windscreen. So this one is considered as a part of the fairing itself, like a plastic here or like a plastic here. So this is not a windscreen, and so there are other rules, norms, and standards for windscreens and for fairings or plastics. So it was possible to declare it as a part of the fairing. So this is a very important information that you should also give to your TÜV approving guy, and tell him, okay, please consider this one not as a windscreen, consider this one as part of the fairing. And then it's getting much easier, because I think it was let me check, ECE R43 that is covering all these standards and rules and regulations for the windscreens. And this is quite long. And so yeah, there are some different regulations between windscreens and parts and fairings and plastics. So don't forget to tell your guy that this one is not a windscreen. Instead, it's a part of the fairing, and then it's yeah, more or less easy to get approval in the end. What I also didn't cover is that in my case, it was not like on the SD VZO paragraph 21 for the German guys and colleagues here. in my case, it was done relied on paragraph 19. So yeah, like I told you already, you have two options: paragraph 21 or paragraph 19. Just check it out in the on the internet and Google yeah, 19 or 21 of the StVZO, Straßenverkehrszulassungsordnung. It can't get any more German as that, and you will find out what it exactly is. And according to these two paragraphs, it could be possible to get your bike street legal. So I don't know if I already told you, but if you have any question or you need any help with your bike, or you want to ask something regarding the parts that I use, or regarding this TÜV approval, if you need anything, then just hit me up on Instagram. You can find it down below the video. Check it out. Yeah, as I just mentioned before, don't expect too much fancy videos and pictures. Instead, it's only some messaging program for me, or messaging app. Yeah, if you like to, and if you maybe also like to go for a ride in Western Germany, we are a group of more or less young guys and women as well, who go for the TET, who go for different yeah, parts of the woods and stuff where we can ride. So yeah, just let me know, hit me up, and maybe you'd like to join us, and yeah, if yes, see you.